महिमानो नहीं पार, नो Namaste, and Jai Jinendra Badani. Today we have Hinaben Vora, who is going to be taking the class for the next 4 to 5 sessions. Hinaben Vora, our speaker today, comes from a Hindu background, but her journey into Jainism began about 20 years ago when she was first introduced to the Naukar mantra while teaching young children at SCVP. What started as a simple teaching responsibility soon sparked a deep and lasting interest. Her passion led her to pursue a certificate course followed by a master's degree in Jainology and comparative religion and philosophy from London University in 2012. Since then, she has been deeply engaged in both learning and teaching Jainism, continually exploring and sharing its rich philosophy. Welcome, Hinaben. If I can ask you to say a few words and to our students.
Thank you for lovely introduction. Jai Jinendra, everybody. As you all know, today's topic, which is going to be Arihant Vandanavali. So I would like to share my slides before I start. So, Okay. Can everybody see it now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. So before I start, I bow down to the lotus feet of Lord Arihant. Good evening, Jai Jinendra to all. It is my pleasure to be with you all, and I am grateful to the Oshwal committee members for all allowing me to present this beautiful stuti. Before we start, let's recite Naukar mantra. I will recite and you can all recite in your mind. Om Namo Arihantanam. Om Namo Sitanam. Arihanto ko naman hai, Shri Sito ka sumiran hai. Om Namo Arihanam. Om Namo Uvachayanam. Namo Loe Sava Sahunam. Eso Panch Namokaro. Sava Pap Panasano. Mangalanancha Savesim Padamam Havai Mangalam. Padamam Havai Mangalam. Jai Jinendra. And now I will request you all to please close your eyes softly, and we will do a very short meditation before I start my topic of tonight. So I request you all to take a very deep breath. Calm yourself down completely. Try and slow down your breath. And just think of Arihant Prabhu. Wherever you are, in your room, think that he is there with you. and think of all whatever you can think about Arihant Prabhu. Feel his presence in your room. Feel those good vibes around you. Enjoy for a couple of minutes his presence with you. Let us conclude this practice by saying Om Arham. Thank you all. Now, Arihant Vandanavali is all about the poet describing the immense beauty of Arihant Prabhu in countless ways. No matter how or from which perspective he looks at Arihant Prabhu, the poet is filled with deep joy and emotion, compelled to bow down each time he reflects on any of his virtues. So this stuti has 49 stanzas, and every stanza's last line says, I bow down to Arihant Prabhu with 5 limbs and with lots of bow. So he is just so overjoyed that he couldn't stop himself every time when he talked about any one virtue, he had to bow down. Okay, so now before we go into the stuti actual, first I would like to know, why do we need to do vanna to Prabhu? Especially when we know that our Arihant Prabhu doesn't provide anything in return. Why do we do vandana? Why do we bow down to our Prabhu? Anybody there? Okay, I guess I will just answer the question. So I would like to just start with how it is in Uttarayadhyan Sutra. Gautam Swami asked Lord Mahavir, what do we achieve by doing Vandana? And Lord answered, by Vandana, the soul destroys such karma which leads to birth in low families and acquires such karma which leads to birth in noble families. Secondly, the performer wins the affection of people, which results in his being looked upon as an authority, and he brings about general goodwill. So that's Uttarayadhyan Sutra talking about the benefits of Vandana. And now there is another, our Agam, not Agam, but our Shastra, which is Pravachan Sarodhar, and that says it creates modesty, it expels undue pride, it establishes devotion to our Guru, it fulfills the order of Tirthankar, it fulfills the essentials of the scriptures, it ultimately leads you towards moksha, which we all want. And also, according to Gurudev Sri Amar Muniji Maharaj, Namo, this is a symbol of obeisance. It implies that to pay obeisance to great souls is to worship them. Worship by obeisance means namaskar puja is two kinds. One is like Dravya Namaskar, and the other one is Bhav Namaskar. So Dravya Namaskar is like how we do with our body, with our hands, and we bow down, that is Dravya Namaskar. And Bhav Namaskar, that one must remove the active mind from all fluctuations and engage it towards the object of one's worship, that whoever he is worshipping. So it is like fully hearty devotion, and it is the duty of those who perform namaskar to deliver both kind of obeisance. Now, bhav, and also according to Sri Channaji Maharaj, when there is a subsidence of patience, then only you will have the right bhav, and then only you are going to be attracted to the right religion. So, in other words, one needs to be completely free of passions. Means આપણે કહીને ગુજરાતીમાં નિર્મળ ભાવ, આપણા ભાવ એકદમ નિર્મળ હોવા જોઈએ, તો જ આપણા ભાવ શુદ્ધ થાય, અને જેવા આપણા ભાવ શુદ્ધ હોય એટલું જ આપણા નમસ્કાર ફળે. સો અહોભાવ ક્યારે પણ આપણામાં અહોભાવ જાગે ત્યારે આપણે મનમાં પ્રસન્નતા આવે, અને that namaskar really makes sense. Okay, so ahobhav will only manifest when we are full of emotional joy. If we have four passions, then such a thing will never occur. So basically, without subsidence of patience, one cannot be an upasak. Also, while praying, it stops the karmic inflow as well as it eradicates lots of karma. Karmic nirjara happens when we do vandana, and therefore we do vandana for our own benefit. Remember, this vandana we do is for our own benefit, not for others or to whoever we are bowing down to. Okay, so this is why we do vandana. Now we will go into the introduction of this actual stuti. Now, who has defeated all the Arihant? Who do we call Arihant? Those who have defeated all the inner enemies. So Arihanta, enemies and defeat. Those are the two words that makes Arihant. And this stuti, it is Arihant Vandanavali. What is Vandanavali? Means the word is made up of two, Vandan and Avali. So just like, you know, how at Diwali time we say Dipavali, so which is the row of deep that makes Dipavali. In the same way, the poet is so overwhelmed that every time he keeps on doing Vandana, every one attribute of Lord he talks about, then it makes him do Vandana. So every 49 times, whenever he talked about one or two, whatever he wants to talk about, he bows down. And that is why it has become Vandanavali, so the rows of Vandan. Yes, and this is actually is a stuti. So what does stuti mean? The stuti refers to praise or prayers in glorification of Sri Bhagwan. So word stuti comes from Sanskrit root stu. And what is stu? Is to praise. Yeah. So it is the whole stuti is praise of our Arihant Prabhu. Okay, and then this is a stuti originally written in Prakrit language by the unknown Bahushrut Acharya, describing Arihant Prabhu's inner virtues and other personality as Panch Kalyanak and all that. So there is only one word I feel like you probably will struggle, which is Bahushrut. Who do we call Bahushrut? Bahushrut is those who knows all our Agam as well as Purva. So those who has Purvanu knowledge and Agamnu knowledge, those acharyas are called Bahushruta. Okay, obviously there are three different ones, but we won't go into it. But basically, you have to take it as Bahushrut is somebody who has written this in Prakrit some years ago, who we don't know the name of him, but he is a very, very highly scholared acharya who had written it. Okay. Now, then we come. It is translated in Gujarati by Sri Chandulal Sakarchandsa. So originally it was written in Prakrit, but this person have translated it in Gujarati. How did that happen? So Chandulal Shah was a very, very clever businessman, and he was very successful in his business, but his mother was not happy. So one time he asked his mother that, do you not like that I'm just so popular and I am so successful? So the mother says, it's fine whatever you have done, but whenever do you atmano jare uddhar karis, in that time, this is what she said, atmano uddhar thai evu bhan. Evu means study where your soul, you can uplift your soul. Yeah, so study something that will uplift your soul. And then he asked his mother, so who will teach me this? Then the mother says, go to Pashraya and ask Maharaj Sahib, and he will suggest you someone who can teach you. Who started teaching him with so then he went there at the Pashraya, and Acharya Bhadra Shankar Vijayji Maharaj was residing there at the time at Upashraya, and he started teaching him with Nokar mantra. And he started getting deeply interested in learning, and Chandulal Shah thought that he had found the right guru. So with Acharyaji's teaching, he wrote a book called Aneka, and he studied so much that he afterwards wrote a book on Anekantvad, Shyadvad, which got published in 2019. So this is not too old. This whole translation has not been done for many years before. Okay, and now to deepen his sadhana, Chandunal Shah, to deepen his sadhana, he needed to move to a quieter place. So he moved to Pansar, which is Pansar Dharmasara, which is near Ahmedabad. And while deeply studying, he also started studying Sanskrit and Prakrit. In the section of Prakrit, he found Arihant Vandanavali. So he got touched while learning this, and he was so touched and he was so happy that he put that granth on his head and he started dancing, which will be there in very last stanzas. This also he mentions in his last stanza. And and he thanked the original writer. So his journey was only 5 to 7 years to get to this, to find this. And it's actually, we should say that his mother was the initiator for him to get into all this. Yeah. And Sanakwasi Acharya Sri Jayant Muniji Maharaj explained this whole translation of Gujarati in depth in this book. So each stanza has been explained in this book by Jayant Muniji Maharaj. Okay, and it's been the book has been edited by somebody, good one by Barwalia in Ghatkopar. This Acharya who did this, he lived in a town called Petrabar, which is near Samit Sikar, and it's a very remote area. He has his ashram there. He passed away, but the ashram is still there. He lived there by total Jain values, and he helped all the poor people in that town because he thought that this bhumi belongs to our Lord. So we must look after each and every person, as it is a very, very poor town. Okay, so this is the very background of this whole thing. Now we will start again. Before I go into it, there is one more thing I like to talk about is Kalyanak. Why do we say Kalyanak? Means welfare. So something that happens for the welfare of the universe, that is why it is called Kalyanak. And it is as it proves that Arihanta's existence brings so many welfare to the society. So normally there are 5 Kalyanak in Prabhu's whole life, which are being described so very well in this stuti, which we are going to go through during this coming 2-3 lessons. Now, normally this stuti is sung in the morning, and believe me, you will find so many different tune is being sung on YouTube. If you put it every morning, it is very, very soothing. But normally it is always sung at our Derasar or Apashra or wherever, like wherever the Maharaj Sahib are there, they always do the satsang of this on the very first day of the lunar month. And they make it such a big thing and do such a big bhakti with this, that at a very extensive level, and it really makes the whole environment becomes very lively, the way sadhus and sadhvijis describe Arihant Prabhu. Okay, so this is all the background of this stuti. Now let us go into this stuti, and the very first stanza I will sing, but afterwards I will just talk about it. Okay, so this is the tune that I have always liked. जे चौद महास्वप्नों थकी निज मात ने हरि खावता, वड़ी गर्भ माही ज्ञान त्रयने गोपवी अवधारता, ने जन्मता पहलाज 64 इंद्र जेने वंदता, एवा प्रभु अरिहंत ने पंचांग भावे हूँ नमो, एवा प्रभु अरिहंत ने पंचांग भावे हूँ नमो. As I already told you before, the last line which says Eva Prabhu Arihantane Panchanga Bhave Hu Namo, which is going to be repeated in all 49 stanzas. So we will not repeat that all the time. Now, the first stanza talks about the Prabhu's Chavan Kalyanak. Okay. Now, the series of 14 well, in some other sects, it says 16 dreams only change for first Tirthankar Rishabhdev Bhagwan and the last Tirthankar Mahavir Bhagwan. So this is what happens when Lord Lord Arihant soul is conceived in okay. It brings joy to his mother through the presentation of 14 auspicious dreams. While still in the womb, the Lord possesses three types of knowledge. 64 Indras bow to him even before his birth. To such Lord Arihant, I offer my homage with a five-limbed salutation and heartfelt devotion. So we will understand this. Just you can see the picture how it is. What happens when the Lord comes in mother's womb. Okay, so now Mahavir saw just the way after long sadhana one binds Tirthankar Nam Karma. The same way to be the mother of Tirthankar is also achieved after many birth sadhana. And this is why mother also sees 14 dreams, and due to their joint punya, this happens. Okay, each of these dreams represents many auspicious virtues of the soul that is going to take birth. At all the Indras are highest type of heavenly gods. And as soon as they realize that this auspicious soul has entered the womb, they take their mojuri, which is shoes, and they take the crowns off, and they get off their singhasan, and they bow down to from the heaven with adoration, and they feel very happy. This means that during the stage of renunciation and the pursuit of knowledge, power and wealth are relinquished. Okay, so Arihant Prabhus have a lot more hidden power than Indras. I hope you all understand the heavenly gods are Indras, and they all bow down to Arihant Prabhu as soon as his soul takes in mother's womb, goes in mother's womb. So normally there are, now I'm going to talk about this last line, which is Vandan, Panchanga Bhave Hunamo, it says, right? So there are like two different types of Vandan that one can do. Is 8 limbs, which is 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 eyes, heart, and head. Okay, so Panchang, here Panchang, which is, he is like 5 limbs, which is 2 hands and 2 legs, and his head down. This is the position of his Vandan. So when devotee does this Vandan, means his energy of hands and legs as well as head, he is offering to Lord so that all his deeds become only auspicious, and especially when bowing down head means he is giving up his ego so that all his ignorance fade away and true knowledge starts flowing in his head. Leaving his doubts, he gets drenched into the total devotion. Okay, so as we talked about in Jainism, bhav is very, very important. We have, so he is not only doing the physical, but he is putting his bhav as well. So emotion is an aspect or component of bhav. Okay, now the third thing he talks about, mati gnan, shruta gyan, and avdi. I don't know if you are all aware of it, but mati gyan is the knowledge that is derived through the sense organs like eyes, ears, and all our sense organs and the mind. And Shrutagnan stands for verbal or scriptural knowledge and is derived from Shru, which means hear, and Gyan, so which means knowledge. Okay, so these are the two types, and the third one is avadi gyan, which is the determinate knowledge of remote physical objects derived directly without the instrumental or senses or mind. Okay, so Lord is born with all these three knowledge, and when we can also call it, all these are all very divine knowledge Lord is born with. And due to this gnan, if you all know, Lord Mavi decided not to take Diksha until the parents lived as while he was in mother's womb only. And he stopped movements to comfort mother. Instead, they got worried that something was wrong with the baby, and that's when he started moving. So these are the main 3 points I thought would be in this stanza that are needed to be explained, unless you have any question and if you want me to explain anything else here. No? Right? So let's go on to the second stanza. Second stanza is talking about the birth kalyana. So this stanza here says, મહાયોગના સામ્રાજ્યમાં જે ગર્ભમાં ઉલ્લાસતા ને જન્મતા ત્રણ લોકમાં મહાસૂર્ય સંપ્રકાશતા જે જન્મ કલ્યાણક વડે સૌ જીવને સુખ અર્પતા એવા પ્રભુ અરિહંતને પંચાંગ ભાવે હું નમું. So again, he's bowing down. And why is he bowing down? So this stanza talks about the Janma Kalyanak. While in a deeply meditative state, Lord remains joyful in his mother's womb. Upon birth, he radiates like the sun across all three realms and bestowing bliss upon all living beings. To such Lord Arihant, I offer my homage. Okay, so so why does he feel joyous in the mother's womb? That is something that we need to understand here. So the highly evolved souls don't have stages such as birth or death. That is why they are happy even in mother's womb, as they can see due to their punya karma, the body which they are going to take birth in, they can see it that they have to just do this as just to eradicate their karmas, like Tirthankar Nam karma. And it is separate from the soul. That body is, they can feel, they see it separate from the soul. So no attachment to the body. So for ordinary people, there is no kalyanak. Why? The different sects think differently about the importance of this kalyanak, as Sanakwasis don't give that much of importance to the birth kalyanak. But again, that's not something that we need to discuss here. Okay. Now, and the other thing it says in this stanza, the sky is filled with a soothing glow, the wind becomes fragrant, and the whole atmosphere becomes filled with unprecedented joy that was hard to describe. Yes, so this is what happens when Tirthankar take birth. Even then, like we say, no, the nigodna jivne pan, for that moment they feel joyful. Yeah. So this is what happens when Tirthankar takes birth. This stanza talks about the birth of Tirthankar. Now we go on to the third one, which is छप्पन दिक्कुमारी तनि सेवा सुभावे पामता देवेंद्र सरसंपुट मही धारी जगत हरखावता मेरु शिखर सिंहासने जे नाथ जगना शोभता एवा प्रभु अरिहंतने पंचांग पावे हूँ नमु. So what does it say? Lord Arihant is honored with devoted service by 56 celestial damsels, which is, they call it Kumaris. Now Indra Bhagwan joyfully cradles him in his palm, delighting the world, and carries him to the summit of Mount Meru. There, the Father of the universe appears, majestic upon his divine throne, To such Lord Arihant I bow down. So now, to prove the importance of Arihant Prabhu's birth, all the celestial beings are present. What happens, as you can see in the picture, all the celestial beings are present, and they are all like celebrating Lord's birth. And this by the meaning shows that importance of birth of Arihant, that not only human being but God and goddesses from all directions also come to pray and to pay their homage. They go round Tirthankar's mother and bow before her. They also sang dance, praise, and of that child that was to become Tirthankar, and then proceeded to perform the post birth rituals. So lot more description can be found in Trisasti Salaka Purus. There is this book which really at an extensive level, it describes Lord's birth and how Lord's birth is being celebrated. Here it is in short, but this is what happens. So at that instant, the king and of gods of the Sudharma dimension, Sudharmendra Chakra, also come to know that first Tirthankar has taken birth. He arrived with his large retinue of gods and bowed before the mother. O great mother, Sudharmendra Chakra, bow before you and offer my salutation. So this is what happens. And after the salutation, the mother was put to sleep. Now what happens? Because they want to take the baby away to do the afterbirth ceremony. So they put the mother to the sleep, and so then created 5 look-alike bodies of himself, which will come little later into another stanza, but it is just one god. He takes 5 different bodies of himself. With one body, he carefully lifts the baby and in his one hand and takes him to Meru Shikhar for Janma Abhishek. It is called Janma Abhishek. With the second body, he took an umbrella in his hand and stationed the baby stationed his body behind the baby. With third and fourth body, he took whisk and stationed these bodies on both slides of the baby. So fifth one, he lifted his divine weapon, Vajra, and stationed himself ahead of the baby as a bodyguard. So it is just one Indra, but everything is done like with different bodies. So in this formation, the king of gods airlifted the baby to Mount Meru, and this picture is on Gatha. It will come little later on the 6th stanza. Okay, now Dik Kumaris, the meaning of Dik Kumaris is Dik is Disha, so mixed sides like east, west. So there are total 8, and from each side 6 of them comes. So that makes 64. Okay, now and that is how they all come. And why is the Meru Shikhar chosen to give his afterbirth all the things? But Meru Shikhar is the one that is not possible to do it on any normal land. Out of 5 Meru, Mahameru is the highest level. That is why that was appropriate place for Lord's afterbirth ceremony. Okay, So now we move on to the next one. It says, Kusumanjali thi sura asura je bhavya chinane pujata kshirodati na navana jarati deva chenne sinchata vadi deva dandu bina gajavi devatao rijata eva prabhu arihantane panchanga bhave munamu. So here gods and demons alike offer flowers in worship, the worship of the beautiful soul of the Jina. They bathe him with the auspicious waters of Kshirodadi sea, while the gods express their joy by sounding celebratory trumpets. To such Lord Arihant, I bow down. So, why are they worshipping? So on Mount Meru, all gods, including their 64 kings, with their concerts and ceremoniously perform the post-birth anointing rituals. So importance of flower has always been there. We in our normal life also, we always use flowers to show the joy. So even Indra's offering flowers to the Lord feels that they themselves are also surrendering to Arihant Prabhu. There are no, and why is the Shiro the sea? So there is no streams of water on top of the Mount Meru Sikar. Therefore, all the devtas, after fetching the thousands of pots of water from the auspicious seas, like Chirodati ocean. So the name of the ocean is Chirodati, which is a very auspicious ocean. So they all fetch the water from there, and actually this is done before even Lord takes birth, and they keep it in their where they keep all their precious things. And as soon as Lord takes birth, they come with this water on top of Mount Meru. So, and also, why is it on Meru Sikar? It is not possible for human being to be there. That is why all the devtas are doing this vidhi and vidhan. Okay, so it is all the heavenly gods are doing this because there is no human being there. Now, while giving bath with each pot of water, the devtas are feeling even purer than how they are flowing the water. While all these are happening, how can the atmosphere be silent? It was all the Sank and the band the Dundubi. It says Dev Dundubi with sweet voices. The whole of the sky was very, very pleasant. Yeah. And this is just by imagining all this, the poet feels so happy that he just starts bowing down every time he talks about all these virtues of Lord. Okay, and then let's move on to the next stanza. मत मत तथा गो शीर्ष चंदन थी विलोपन पामता देवेंद्र दैवी पुष्पनी माळा गड़े आरोपता कुंडल कड़ा मणिमय चमकता हार मुकुटे शोभता एवा प्रभु अरिहंतने पंचांग भावे हूँ नमो. So what happens next? As you know, in the previous couple of stanzas, we talked about Indra taking 5 different bodies. You can see it in this picture. It's 5 bodies doing different things, but it's the same Indra who is doing this. Okay, right. Now, so in this stanza, what it's trying to say, Lord Arihant is gently anointed with sandalwood paste, which is the word is Goshis. I'll come back to that one. And then Lord Indra adorns him with a garland of auspicious flower, while dazzling diamond bracelets, radiant earrings, and a splendid crown enhance his divine beauty. To such Lord Arihant, I offer my homage with a 5-limbed salutation and joyful devotion. Now, so what is this Go Shears Sandalwood? So go seed sandalwood is from a tree that is very rarely found. It is only available in Go She's Vruksha, Bhadrashal forest, which is high quality forest. It is available from the tree shaped like a cow's head from the middle of it. And it is highly expensive. God collects that before the Lord is even born, and in their precious collections to beg the Lord keep it. Yeah, so they feel fortunate to do so. It gives a beautiful smell to the whole environment, and then the Indra Devatas are so eager to put the garland of flowers. It goes without saying that just like Chandan, these flowers are also very high quality. Also, they bring all the ornaments that had prepared with that have been prepared with expensive jewels. Okay, so go see. So some people do make a mistake in understanding. So why it is called go? Go means guy in Gujarati, and shears means head. So cow head, people think, but it is a mistake to understand it that way. Goshi is a sandalwood that when it grows, the tree looks like a cow's head, and the sandalwood is taken from that tree, which is very rarely seen. Okay, now very important that Ratna Manik Neelam is of two. So, garland also is very auspicious flowers, and then he has been put karna samput, so earrings that represent three realms, sound and kada, the samyak darshan, samyak. So this it represents, the garland represents Lord's Divya Dwani, and karna samput. So earrings, it is like the sounds of all three realms, and then the bracelets, it represents Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gyan, and Samyak Charitra, to awaken the consciousness of a human being. Okay, so very important that Ratnamanik Neelam is of two types. So there are some which illuminates themselves, but there are some which illuminates only from the outside light. But Lord's nature is such that His beauty comes from within. He has got that knowledge. So this Ratna Manik Moti, all these words are being used just to represent that how he is, he's just a self-illuminated person, right? So all this is used to just to show his qualities. Okay. Now, as such, Lord's all limbs have that inner beauty that hardly these things matter if you put it on him or not. Yeah. So these are just to show God's just their devotion towards our Lord. Okay. And also to represent his beautiful virtues. So now we go on to the next one. It says, stanza number 6, Nishrestha Venu Morali Veena Mrudanga Dhvani Vajintra Tale Nritya Karati Kinnariyo Swargani Harshe Bari Devangana O Namana Karati Lari Lari Eva Prabhu Arihantane Panchanga Bhave Hunamu. What is happening here? As the finest flute, violin, and mrudanga, that is the type of musical instrument, play melodiously, heavenly angels dance in harmony with the divine tune, and exuberant goddesses bow down in reverence again and again. To such a Lord Arihant, I pay my homage. So Devangana, with their instrument, dancing with beautiful postures. Now, you see, whenever there is any celebrations, there is always like dancing, isn't it? So here also is the same. Celebrations are shown. So for any celebration, without beautiful Devangana with their special instrument and beautiful postures, dancing is must to bring the life to the environment. Okay, so Lord does not require this, but just to satisfy our, means the Lord's inner vow, we take refuge of such celebrations. So it is only us, we take the refuge of all these celebrations. This is done because it makes us feel happy that we celebrated, not that Lord needs it. He is in his own nature. So sculpture, literature, instrument, singing, tone, dancing, nature has given us all these different art, and we use that to show our joy, like how we are so joyful. Okay, so when devatas and humans want to show their devotion, we always do this. And there is this bhakti yoga. This is the only yoga. When we do bhakti, when we do dancing, when we sing, that is the only yoga that we can see, or we can show people that we are joyful. If you do meditation, if you do your studies, nobody can see. But this is the bhakti yoga, is the only yoga that even when you are doing your prayers, other people can see. Yeah. So now we move on to the next one. जयनाद करता देवताओ हर्षना अतिरेकमा पदरामणि करता जनेताना महाप्रसादमा जे इंद्र पूरित वरसुदाने चूसता अंगुष्टमा एवा प्रभु अरिहंतने पंचांग भावे हूनमु. What happens here? The gods arrive joyfully in the hall of the Lord's mother, cheering in celebration of his divine victory. When the Lord feels hunger, he gently sucks his toe, which is miraculously filled with milk by Lord Indra. To such Arihant I bow down. So all the gods are so excited as they have fulfilled their assigned work. They were supposed to do this birth celebration. They've done it. They all feel so happy. And while doing that, Lord Indra thought that it was his duty. If the baby feels hungry, then it is his duty to make sure he doesn't go hungry. So what he does, he puts some milk in the toe of that baby, Lord, and Lord is also such. Bhagwan, he starts sucking that thumb, showing that he is making the use of it. Yeah. So he also becomes like a child, and that is such a good thing to see. So this is the after that is another again talks about the ahar and nihar. So that gatha is ahar ne nihar jena che agochar chaksuthi प्रसवेद व्याधि मैल जेना अंग ने स्पर्शे नहीं स्वर्धेनु दुग्ध समारुधिर ने मास जेना तन मही एवा प्रभु अरिहंत ने पंचांग भावे हूँ नमो. So here what are we doing is his consumption of food as well as his excretions remain invisible. He does not perspire, nor does any impurity touch his divine body. Clothed in radiant white flesh, his blood is pure and white, like the milk of heavenly cows. To such a Lord Arihant, I pay my salutations. So, due to the rise of Tirthankar Nam Karma and due to many punyas, all bodily actions of Arihant Prabhu are invisible. You cannot see. Yeah? Which I'm sure that all of you are aware of. And nature or performing the duty of a of a mother. So that's nature only. Nature does this all. And how the example is given here of camphor, you know, like when you light the camphor, it just disappears in the air. In the same way, the nature makes it all disappear, his perspiration or whatever comes out of his body, or whenever he needs to eat, or whatever he needs to do, our routine is all done, but nature takes care of it, that none of us can see. Okay, so this stanza is visible body, the whole visible body is described, and this is how it is. His none of his routine we can see. Okay, I think I will stop here because I've been told 9:15. Sorry, I've taken 3 minutes more, but we can continue next week with the further stanzas. Anybody have any questions, please?
Hinaben, I've received a question from Nick. He's asking, is Arihant status attained before having Keval Gnan? And also, when Arihants leave their body, are they classified as siddhas?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Is Arihant status attained before having Keval Gnan?
No, so Arihant status is before Keval Gyan. It's I need to ask. I need to think about this actually. Is
Can I respond to this, Hinaji Ashok here? Okay. So technically, Arihant means one who has annihilated his Ghatiya karma. And that happens only when Keval Gyan is attained. But right from the birth or right from the conception, Lord is Tirthankara because he has accrued those meritorial karmas which gave him the status of Tirthankara. So all that we have read so far in this one, lot of those attributes are relevant or applicable to Tirthankaras. So for example, things related to his bodily functions, they are valid even before attaining Keval Gyan. So Keval Gyan is a state when he attains that he becomes absolutely enlightened. And your second part of the question, does he become a Siddha when he leaves his body? That is correct.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ashokji.
No problem. My pleasure. Thank you.
Nick, I hope that answers your question. I've just received another one from Sandip. He's saying on the third slide, it says devs and demons are present on Mount Meru. Are demons also present there?
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone have any other questions? You can put your hand up or send them in the chat.
I had a question, Hinaben, for you. The Panchang Bhava Namu.
Panchang Bhave Namu.
So, is that a type of Vandan that is done?
Yes.
Okay. Can you describe it a little bit?
Yes. Yes. So Panchanga. So Panchang is the word. Means 5 anga, 5 limbs. So those 5 limbs are 2 hands, 2 legs, and my head. So when we do Vandan, we bow down and with 2 hands and 2 legs, and we sort of, we surrender our whole body as well as our head. So as I talked about it initially, that when we surrender our head means we should we should get rid of all the things that are in our head, and we that is how we bow down. Head is very, very important. So panchanga, so 5 ang and panchanga bhave. So the bow, that bow has to be there. Is that clear to you? That
Yeah,
you know, I feel so much that I bow down to you, leaving all my ego and everything behind.
right.
Is that
So
clear?
is it like a Shashtwan pranam, or
Yes.
like, yeah, like that?
Yes, yes. So either you do it with 5, or some, you might have seen other people, they like lie down completely. So that sastanga. So sasta is like 8 anga. So they completely lie down in front of Lord. So there are different types of vandan. But ang is, that means the different parts of the body, how many parts of the body. And head is very important, that is bow.
Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Doesn't look like we have any further questions. So if you want to end with a prayer, Hinaben, and then we can close.
Sure. So I'll just say Chattari Mangalam, Arihanta Mangalam, Siddha Mangalam, Sahu Mangalam, Kevali Panato Dhammo Mangalam, Chattari Lokuttama, Arihanta Lokuttama, Siddha Lokuttama, Sahu Lokuttama, Kevali Panato Dhammo Lokuttamo, Chattari Sharanam Pavachami, Arhante Sharanam Pavachami, Siddhe Saranam Pavachami, Sahu Saranam Pavachami, Kevali Panatam Dhammam Saranam Pavachami. વિતરાગ પ્રભુની આજ્ઞા વિરુદ્ધ કાંઈ પણ બોલાયું હોય તો અરિહંત પ્રભુની સાક્ષીએ તત્સમિચ્છામિ દુક્કડમ. And michami dukram to all of you if I have said anything wrong. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening to me.
Thank you, Hinaben. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Jai Jinendra.
Jai Jinendra.